In this episode, we'll be talking about how to time-lapse pan scenery. All that and more coming up. So welcome back to this two-part mini-series talking about how to pan. Now, in the last episode I was talking more about cinematic panning in movies, and this episode is going to be talking about how to time-lapse pan. Now, back about a year and 8 months ago or so, I went camping, and it was either late at night or early in the morning, I can't think which, I think it was late at night, and it was really hazy and some very strange light. So I was thinking maybe I'll try a time lapse, and this talking back to the time I had a Nikon Coolpix L27, and I literally had, actually no, I must have had this tripod by then, this Gorillapod, but yeah, I had no clue what I was doing, and yeah, I decided literally just to hold the camera, and yes, I did have the Gorillapod, and literally just turn it very slowly, bit by bit, ducking every time the camera went past, which was once, but kept sort of, yeah. Anyway, so I was ducking down and twiddling the thing on a fence post, and it was just cringy to try and do, and it didn't come out great, but it was still better. It was the best I could do at that point, and the more I've looked into it, the more I've been kind of finding other ways of doing it. And specifically when people have like time lapses of roads and it's like stretched out lights, and you know, they do that in photography with like the slow shutter speeds, but also with making movies and time lapsing it, and you know, the cars going so fast you just see the streets of light go across. And looking over at my computer and looking at the model, there's something called a Canon CTV1 pan cradle. Now, I saw this around the time that I first wanted to do this video. It was about 6 months ago, and it's basically you place your camera on it. I believe it's mobile operated, and you set it to just turn at a certain speed and whatever else. You just set up all the settings and it just goes, pretty much however you want, as long as it's charged, and it just keeps turning the camera either really slowly or over and over again. And you time lapse it, and it comes out really smooth as long as you don't jerk the mechanism. And yeah, it's a very effective piece of kit. Obviously, I don't have it myself. It probably costs quite a lot, but that's still one viable option. And yeah, it's an automatic, obviously automatic mechanism, but doing it manually is pretty difficult. And I've tried it since then, and sort of like deleted the footage. It's been so bad. But the best way that I've found is to get something like a Lavelli tripod or a Manfrotto, and getting it with the like handle on it and connecting the camera up to it, and preferably having like a quick release so you can pick the camera off and vlog and continue your video however else. But you can turn it slowly and produce a pretty effective one for that. Other options is handheld. Obviously it comes out very shaky, but you have to have pretty much a surgeon's hand for it to come out really cinematic. And in the last episode I was sharing about Peter McKinnon's, I think it was called PM lean roll thing, something like, I can't remember. It was a technique, he named it, but I've used it for photography and for panning scenery like that, and the same sort of principle can be used for time-lapsing. If you just fall slowly to one side, and you just bring the camera slowly down, rather than just sort of like turning it in jittery movements, changing up. I'm sorry about this, I don't know why my camera is adjusting. I'm literally right here, it is focused on my face, and I can see that from the LCD screen. I don't know why it's doing this, you have to excuse that. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's a really effective method of doing that with the pan cradle, or with the Manfrotto kind of handle. And obviously all this kind of gear comes fairly expensive. So this technique of sort of like leaning and falling, and as slowly as you can, but just a clean movement, so you don't actually move the camera, you just move your body, And obviously in your wrists or something, there's like, well, there's only like one proper main joint in your wrist, but obviously you've got your fingers and everything, and you're just gripping onto the camera. But in your legs and your feet and everything, you've got a lot more bounce and a lot more movement, and to try and stabilise the camera. So as long as you hold the camera straight and steady, it is a pretty smooth movement, and you can get a very smooth time-lapse from it. So that's what I recommend. And just to finish off the video before I go, I have I believe I can try and find my camping piece of footage that I did the slowly but surely and cringe-worthy twisting of the camera. So I'll try and find that. But for now, my name's Nikon Coolcat, and goodbye.